Today I'm going to explain an Australian science fiction film titled 2067. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. The movie is set in a year 2067, where Earth has been devastated by climate change. Most of animals and plants are extinct. Due to lack of plants, the oxygen has decreased in the air. Humans has to pay for synthetic oxygen. Whole world has gone dark. Only one city in Australia has been able to hold out against these disastrous change, because of a company named Chronocorp, which manufactures synthetic oxygen. However, synthetic oxygen was only the source of breathable air, but its cause is a deadly disease called the sickness. Our protagonist, Ethan White, and his best friend Jude, both works as mechanics in Chronocorp Corporation. Ethan's wife, Xanthi, is also affected with the sickness. Ethan daily struggles to earn money and buy better oxygen for her. One day, Ethan and Jude are working in the tunnel, and Chronocorp's CTO of particle research, Regina Jackson, invites them to her office. There she introduces herself to them and tell them human race is going to wipe out within a handful of years. And Ethan is the only one who can save the world and humanity from this condition. Ethan left shocked after listening him and doesn't believe her. But Regina insists him to visit their lab. Lab has huge machine called the Chronicle. Lab scientist Dr. Billy Mitchell introduces himself to Ethan and look at a device on Ethan's wrist for a second. Regina explained him that 20 years ago, Ethan's father, Dr. Richard White, has started this project. The Chronicle is nothing but it's a time machine. During the first trial, they tested Chronicle with the radio wave to see what was on other side. The radio wave bounced back, but they were been changed with something encoded inside. They received a message from future, almost 407 years ahead. In 2474, humanity still exists even 400 years later. Humans must have found a cure to all problems. So, Regina thinks they want to give the cure to us, so we could save more people here. However, the waves which were bounced back, and when they decoded it, they found someone had sent them the message from future saying, "Send Ethan White." Now, Regina wants to send Ethan into the future and bring back the cure to save the humanity. But Ethan is still confused. He doesn't believe them and thinks they are just kidding. Besides, he doesn't want to leave his sick wife alone in such a condition and go to the future, hence he refuses to help them. Outside, Jude insists Ethan to go to future and help everyone who are alive. However, Ethan don't take it seriously, saying that he doesn't want to be like his father. 20 years ago, Ethan's father left him and his mother alone when he was just 8 years old. When his mother was killed and he was also near to die, Jude helped him. From then Jude was like his older brother as well as a close friend. Ethan blames his father for leaving his mother alone to complete his project. So he don't want to leave his sick wife to die. However, Jude make him understand that the only way to save his wife is by finding a cure. Now, Ethan remembers his 8th birthday, when his father brought a strange box as a gift. When Ethan put his hand inside a box, a strange device gets stuck on his wrist. It make him bleed. This device has been permanently fixed on his wrist. Later, at home, Ethan tells Xanthi everything that happened during the day, and Xanthi too insists him to go. But whole night, Ethan tries to take out a device, but unsuccessful. Then he thinks a lot about it. The following morning, Ethan scribes, "I will find my way back to you" on a metal flower, and leaves it beside Xanthi. Then he goes to Regina's office, and tell her that if he can find only one cure, then Xanthi should get the first one. Regina also agrees, and takes him to the lab. Dr. Mitchell shows him the suit which Ethan has to wear before getting into the time machine. As they begin to explain the mission to him, Ethan realizes that they don't have a proper plan, and no clue where he could land. Maybe he could land inside the ocean, or the mountain. However, Ethan wear the suit. Dr. Billy Mitchell give him an AI device called Archie. Archie will help Ethan to navigate his location, and to stay connected with lab members. As the machine start, a countdown begins. Once the countdown reaches 0, it throws Ethan at rapid speed, through the time. He falls from the sky, and lands in a forest. But, due to air his suit catches fire. And somehow he manages to get out of it. Then, he look around, he get amazed by the beauty of nature. He find trees, and natural oxygen was back. The world has completely changed. Then Archie detects a structure. It's not so far, so Ethan follows Archie. But suddenly he finds a skeleton that was lying in front of a bunker's door. The skull has a bullet hole in it. Ethan comes closer to skeleton. He left shocked when he look at the name tag on it. The skeleton belongs to Ethan himself. Ethan also find the skeleton's Archie. He also noticed the skeleton's wrist device. He break it, and take it off. It is identical to Ethan's, Except the light glows green in the skeleton's device, but Ethan's has been red in his whole life. And he also tries to open the door of bunker, but can't. Then, he plays the last recording on skeleton's Archie. He hears a man saying this is the only way, and then shoots Ethan. Just then the device power goes off. The same night, Ethan tries to burn fire with the help of wood, and Archie was commanding him. He also finds wild berries, he eats it. After some time, Ethan starts to vomit and goes unconscious. It turns out that the berries were poisonous. Then a light comes from the sky. After some time, Ethan wakes up, and is surprised to see Jude there. It turns out, the lab members saw Ethan was having a reaction of wild berries. So quickly they sent Jude to the future, with cure to save him. Later, Ethan and Jude find that, the skeleton remains there, which means his fate hasn't changed. Then, they use Archie to find another location, and they follows her. Now they have reached another door. One device scans Ethan's eye and grants them the access. Then, they goes inside, a monitor welcomes him. It asks for a DNA sample. When Ethan accepts it, his wrist device begins to work, making him bleed. After the blood test, its light goes green. Then light of the room turns on, and they realize that they are in Chronocorp's lab, but in future. And the time machine is also in front of them. Jude gets excited, because now they got the chance to go back to the past. But, Ethan says they haven't changed anything. And he will end up dead, just like the dead Ethan. Now, Ethan decode the system log, and find a holographic recording made by his father. Who explained that, the time machine was originally designed to collect the oxygen data in the future, and then send it back to the past. However, when Ethan's father started this time machine for the first time, he received a message, asking him to send Ethan to the future. Despite his misgivings, he chose to do so and made a DNA verification here for Ethan. Soon, Ethan and Jude realize that this time machine won't able to take them back to the past, because its battery has almost drained after 407 years. What's worse is that the activation of the lab triggers power core, threatening to unleash a nuclear explosion in just 4 hours. This means, they have to find a way to fix the time machine, and travel back before the explosion. Now, they moves towards the city. They find whole city was covered with green plants, and human skeleton were spread everywhere. They doesn't find a single man there. Earth must have recovered herself after human extinction. Ethan goes to his wife's house. He only find her bones, and same metal flower which Ethan has given to her, and written "I wish you come back." It's make him fall into despair. Jude tries to persuade him to go back to the past, as the cure against the sickness doesn't seem to exist even in the future world. However, Jude's words make Ethan suspicious. He then turns on the old Archie to play the last recording once again. Recognizes Jude's voice, and the man who shoot Ethan is exactly Jude. Now Jude raises his gun at Ethan, strongly denying that he won't shoot Ethan. Finally, they decided to complete the mission first. After some time, they repair the power core and then return to the lab. Now the Chronicle system started working and they just need to wait for 37 minutes till the portal launch. Once the countdown reaches 0, the portal will send them to 2067 for approximately 30 seconds. However, Ethan finds another door. When he opens it, Ethan finds his skeleton still remains at the same location. In order to figure out the truth, Ethan pulls out the battery of his Archie and puts it into the dead Ethan's Archie. In that way, he gets access to a video, in which Ethan is assured that his future self will be killed by Jude. Jude confesses that there is no hope of changing the future and he is just trying to protect Ethan. But Ethan locks Jude in a room, then plays his father's holographic recording from the day he died. Ethan discovers a conversation between Regina Jackson and his father. It shows that Ethan's father wanted to use the time machine to save all mankind, by finding the cure. But Regina only intended to use the machine to flee from the dying time with some chosen few. However, whichever plan they choose, someone must travel into the future and turn on the time machine, to safely send living matter through time. It requires an operational link from both sides in order to stop Regina with her plan. His father locks the time machine and sets Ethan's DNA as the verification key. In anger at what Ethan's father just did, Regina killed him immediately. She also orders Jude to kill Ethan's mother and be a guardian to him, so one day they can use Ethan's wrist device to get access to the future. Ethan is beyond surprised. The man he thought of as his brother, turned out to be the one who killed his mother and is about to kill him too. He also realizes that he has misunderstood his father, who didn't deliberately abandon the family. Knowing that Regina wants to bring a chosen few into the future, Ethan tries to shut the time machine down, but Jude rushes to stop Ethan and reveals that he's tasked here by Regina to ensure that Ethan is sent in time to repair the power failure. Once Ethan activates the time machine, he should kill Ethan. However, Jude has formed close emotional relations with Ethan over the time. Seeing his brother-like friend in that state because of him, he is guilt-ridden. So, instead of killing Ethan, he shoots himself dead. In rage and regret, Ethan is determined to fulfill his father's dying wish, which is to find the cure, and save the dying humans. He looks into the monitor, and finds the very first message written by his father. He deduces that the message, "Send Ethan White," was sent by himself. Hence, he codes in the message again and sends it into the past. Meanwhile, in the laboratory of the year 2067, Regina with a group of privileged chosen people are waiting anxiously for the time machine to be activated. However, the time machine sends back hundreds of extinct plants, along with a copy of the recorded murder of Ethan's father. Soon after, the time machine is destroyed by Ethan, resulting in the collapse of the Regina's plan. In the end, Regina gets arrested due to the murder. According to Ethan's condition, Xanthi also receives a flower. While Ethan has to stay in the future world alone, he buried Jude and forgives him. One butterfly catches his attention. He runs to see his skeleton, but nothing was present there. He rushes to take a look at the world outside, and feels relieved to see a futuristic eco-friendly city. And the movie completes here. Thanks for watching.